We've been to Beirut half a dozen times now, I think. Of course, it's the place famously where we did our one and only live show to date. So it's got quite a history with Above and Beyond, and it sounds, I've always, even when I go there now, it still feels like a very exotic place to go. Not a lot of people go there on holiday, and then you go there and you discover this really beautiful country, incredible architecture, and the people who are very warm and very party-minded. So it was quite an easy pick when we were thinking about where to do this celebratory show. Beirut's never far from our consciousness because it's always such a great experience to play there.
Plus, they have great food. Let's not forget that.
They do.
I think last year, I think two of us flew in from the Middle East or somewhere to LA, and it was literally like going from the airport to the venue and then broadcasting for 8 hours. I think this year we're even going to arrive a day early in Beirut, so I'm expecting this is a luxurious situation for us to do it. But I think it's doing such a long show is really exhausting. But we've seen the impact that the show has around the world, and the amount of social media buzz and just hearing from all the people from around the world who are tuning in. I think that really gives you that energy to withstand the 8 hours of
I think by the end last time when we did 350 we were all running on fumes by the end of it, but when you get into that really exhausted state where you're just running on adrenaline, really everything's funny, then it's actually very entertaining to be awake for that long and to have to work for that long. You get in a really great state, and I just loved when we sent Jono out with a kind of roaming mic into the crowd and we'd never done that before, over to our roving reporter, and there was Jono, and sort of, it was actually really good fun because we do a radio show, but we're not actually radio professionals by any means. So to actually do that thing and just about get away with it was actually very exciting, a real nice challenge, I think.
I think it'd be one thing to sit in a room and kind of do a talk show for 8 hours, but ultimately you're kind of inspired and energized by the music, so that's what probably keeps you awake.
And I remember when we got to number one tweet, whatever it's called, trending thing, trending topic on Twitter. That was very exciting. Excellent. Kept us going for at least another 10 minutes then.
I was actually going through all the old Trance Around the World. We've still got some of the old archives, and I dug up, I think it was the first or second ever show, and it was really interesting listening to us on the radio and how we spoke and how conscious we were of the way that we spoke, and how things have changed, and how because we do the show every week, or at least one of us does each week. We've kind of got used to it and learned our ways of doing it. So to look back at those old shows and to hear how we were and the music we were playing, actually, to me, I don't think the music has changed on a fundamental level in a huge way. I mean, the style of production and things like that have changed, but the core values of what we play have stayed very much the same throughout the years, and that's something I gleaned definitely from listening to the old shows.
But I mean, we used to do it live, and so it was a 2 hours experience with Nando's and a couple of beers before.
We're going to get a Nando's free black card.
We run out for a fag break during the guest mix and stuff like that. So it was an experience. But unfortunately, once XM in America started taking the show, they were demanding a higher level of production, and so you can't really do that live, getting everything to fit in and the timing of it all. It makes much more sense to do it pre-recorded and kind of make it all neat, but you do lose a little bit of spontaneity and fun, especially the mistakes that we used to make, which are actually great fun to make, believe
it or not. That's the exciting thing about 400 really, isn't it? Because with 400 obviously it's going to be completely live. It's kind of a holiday for us from the whole pre-recorded thing, and it's kind of exciting, and it's definitely a part of the show that I miss from the old days, is it being live. But ultimately it's better that we spend more time on the road, being able to do as many gigs as possible to visit all the territories that we want to visit and play to people, rather than put our energy into a live show every week, which would be quite a lot more work.
Well, I wonder if it would, because it still takes sort of 8 to 10 hours to do the show now.
True, actually.
And, it used to take a few. We'd sort of gather the records together, a bunch of CDs, think these will do, and then we'd get there and we'd mix it live. So you'd be mixing live on the radio, which is terrifying. but great fun as well, and pushing the jingles live, and occasionally they wouldn't go off, or you'd push the wrong button, or somebody would come in.
Or we'd get the last guy's show jingle back.
Oh yeah. It was just good fun, and I sort of miss that. You know, you do remember and very much enjoy the mistakes. Like I was saying, I remember my favourite one is calling mine and Shane 54. I only got as far as Shy On, and then I just cracked up. But it's just great, you know, to have that kind of gaff.
I think for me as well, not being a native English speaker, one of the scariest things I could ever imagine is to go and talk English on a live radio show, and I think pretty quickly we probably made every single mistake you possibly could, and I realized that we still have a show. People are still enjoying listening to it, so it's all okay. And I think
it's kind of like jumping into a big pool of water when you can't swim and learning the hard way. I think we really did learn the hard way with that show, but it was good training.